Hey everybody, why are job interviews generally so unpleasant for candidates? The conventional wisdom was that if you went to a job interview and you had a very negative experience, you felt a loss of dignity, you felt that you had endured disrespect, sometimes bordering on insult, and you had a terrible time, and it was the stuff of recurring nightmares, that tended to indicate that you did not pass the interview. And the opposite was true, right? The conventional wisdom was that if you went to a job interview and you had a positive experience, it seemed to go well and it was borderline enjoyable, that tended to indicate that you had passed the interview and you were moving on to the next stage in the hiring process. Now, employers today are going to great lengths to ensure that candidates have a positive experience in the job interview process, whether they pass or not. But some employers really aren't. It's obviously not important to them. This is not something they really care about. So they're not focusing on that. And still other employers today are still using stress interviews where they intentionally stress you out, wind you up, get you all upset just to see how you behave under those conditions. It's like they're using you as a lab rat without your consent. Now, in the last 20 or 30 years or so, interviewing has changed a bit. The questions are a bit different, and the culture of doing job interviews is a little bit different. So my question to you on this reverse Q&A, where I get to ask you a question, is, does this jive with your own experiences? Okay? And the reason why I'm asking this is because I've had a lot of reports lately of candidates where they say this is not holding up. They say, they went to interviews and it was very, very positive, and then they didn't get the job. But what's more interesting is I'm hearing about people who went to job interviews, had a terrible experience. It was awful. And then they find out later that they passed the interview, and the employer calls them to arrange another interview because they've moved on to the next round. And it's funny because I've heard some people say, they say to the employer, you can take this job and you can shove it. Or I'm sorry, I withdraw my application because, they had such a terrible time interviewing. The last thing they want to do is work with those people. So I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about this. So leave a comment and let me know if, in your experience, is the feeling you get after the interview, whether it was positive or negative, is that a good indicator on whether you passed or not? I suspect this is going to vary by industry and it's going to vary by the level that you're at, but I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. So those of you that do leave a comment, you guys are doubly awesome. And I want to thank you for your attention. And don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.